Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is, of course, part 2 of the top 10 Synchro monsters of all time, the Yu-Gi-Oh hierarchy. I won't make you guys wait long for the list. I'll just go ahead and jump into it. Number 5, Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon came out in Duelist Revolution, and it is still going strong. I mean, it's still one of the premier synchros in the game today, and if there was ever such a thing as the Yu-Gi-Oh lottery, Scrap Dragon clearly would have hit it, because thank God this thing was generic, because if it wasn't, this motherfucker would have never even sniffed this list. Scrap Dragon is very similar to Formula Synchron in the sense that it's a fantastic utility card. Monsters, traps, face-ups, face-down, doesn't matter. He takes care of all of them. And what's great about Scrap Dragon is if you don't have another card on the field to target, you can just use himself. His stats are really good, and much like Black Rose Dragon, he even has this really good theme-specific second effect. Unfortunately, much like Black Rose Dragon, no one ever uses it. Sadly, Scrap is the lone superstar in a group that really faded fast and never reached its real potential, which is why often I will compare this card to Justin Timberlake. Number 4, Legendary 6 Samurai Shi-In. What? I'm pretty sure is what most of you are thinking, and the other half are probably thinking, how dare you, Capital G? How dare you include an incredible synchro that 95% of us forgot about? You should have used that spot for Catastor or maybe Crimson Blader. You know, a card that's been out for, what, like 8 minutes and is generally useless against any Xyz-based deck. Well, angry subscriber, I did include Shi-In, so tough cookies. Look, Shi-In makes this list, and it's higher than 2 ban cards because it did something that no other card on this list even came close to doing. It single-handedly took a deck that most people at the time considered to be, what, above average at best, and took it to tier 1, winning back-to-back YCS events. I mean, in the words of Skip Bayless, that's impossible! You know, I'll admit it had some obvious help from Gateway of the Six, but Samurai were largely irrelevant before Storm of Ragnarok, and Gateway had been out forever, so I don't want to hear that. You know, not until Shi-In hit the scene did the deck just flat out explode, winning 3 YCSs since its release. And, you know, many people forget that Shi-In was Logia before Logia was fucking Logia. You know, with an effect that had absolutely no cost, unlike Heraclinos, and one that works multiple times, unlike something like Logia. This card is a pain in the ass to deal with. And especially considering that he does have a built-in special effect where he can just launch other 6 Samurais to protect himself, you know, Shi-In is definitely a card that it did something that I don't think any other extra deck card did short of Gladiator Beast Grazaris. Number 3, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Man, Konami tried so hard to make Trish balance. You needed 3 monsters to summon it, and it was level 9, which is kind of an odd number to synchro into. Then they ruled that its effect didn't target, and shit got kind of real. He basically became Spellbook of Fate, but the monster. You know, Trish became the ultimate problem solver. He got rid of stuff your opponent had in your way on the field. He got rid of stuff your opponent had in their hand that they were going to use next turn. You know, he even got rid of shit in the graveyard that they had already used. I mean, and just because he could. I mean, Trish, that's just low, man. You know, that's like going for 2 when you're up by 24. I mean, Trish basically did what every player wants out of a monster that isn't very easy to summon. He paid you back on your investment and then some. You know, he takes 3 cards to make, and he takes out 3 cards. But as a bonus, he comes with a 2,700 body on top of that. Trish is kind of like your friend who you loan $100, and then next week he pays you your $100 back, but then he's like, hey dude, let's go out for lunch, just as a thank you. Trish is an excellent card. It definitely had to be on this list. Number 2, Veronik, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. So we've already established that Scrap Dragon and Formula Synchron are some of the best utility synchros ever made. Okay, well, meet numero uno. This guy is flat out the best. He gets rid of synchros. He gets rid of Xyz. He bounces spells and traps. He takes care of tokens. He causes OTKs. He causes loops. He manipulates your graveyards. He lets you reuse spells and traps. Veronik is kind of like the Deion Sanders of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, he can pretty much do anything. And quite frankly, I'm still kind of sold on the theory that he's at least 50% the reason why Premature Burial was banned. You know, from the day that Veronik was released to the day it got banned, with maybe the exception of Dark Strike Fighter, Veronik was generally accepted to be the best synchro in the game. Number 1, Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon had to be number 1 on this list because it's more than just a card. It's more than just a monster. Stardust Dragon is an icon. You know, it was the face of the entire Synchro era, and unlike some of Yu-Gi-Oh's other most iconic cards, such as Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician, this one was actually really good. The fact that Stardust Dragon still to this day sees play in some of the best decks of the format, in my opinion, is just truly a testament to how good this card really is, and it even goes beyond Stardust itself. You know, I feel like the variations of the card are even fantastic. Cards like Shooting Quasar Dragon and Stardust Assault Mode, Shooting Star Dragon, Malefic Stardust Dragon, I mean, they've all seen play and success even on the highest competitive level. Even look at something like Starlight Road and you have yet another prime example of a Stardust inspired card that turned out to be great. And considering not only has Stardust been so good for so long, but so many of its spin-off cards have been as well, I think that Stardust Dragon has created a legacy that no other card in the entire game can match. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this top 10 list. I tried to put a whole bunch of thought into it. Let me know if you liked the video. Maybe I'll do a top 10 synchros, or excuse me, a top 10 fusions, because I know that people were commenting about that too. So thank you guys for watching as always, and I'm out. Subscribing makes life happy.